Experience It with Anointed Women in Christ. Join us with our special guest, Michael Bazemore, as we talk about the power of the Muscadine with your host, Latricia C. Bailey of the Bag Lady series, and her co-host, Minister Chris Allen of Restoration Speaks, Tammy A. Phillips of Tam's Tidbits, Lynette McCullum of Majestic Minds, Harriet V. Bennett, Words Woman, and Dr. Lisa T. Lewis, the BS Boss. Experience it, AWIC TV, with real women, discussing real issues, and giving real answers. We are AWIC. Join in the conversation.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, ladies, how are you?
Hey.
Yes, we are back. For those of you who are just joining us, we thank you for tuning in to Anointed Women in Christ, AWIC TV Experience It. We are so excited because guess what, y'all? We are celebrating 11 years. Can you believe it? Yes. Woo! Somebody's getting old.
Thank you, God. Thank you.
I'm getting better. I don't know who's getting old, but I'm getting better. Thank you.
You getting better?
Right.
I'm getting better. I'm like fine wine.
You like fine wine? All right, go ahead.
Look, fine Muscadine wine.
Muscadine wine. Because
it is great, isn't it? Yes, indeed.
We have somebody here today who's going to tell us about staying fine with that cool wine of Muscadine grape. That's right. There's power in the Muscadine, and it's great. If you all didn't know, hadn't heard of it, I know other people are familiar with it. I'm not that familiar with it, so I'm dying to find out what it is and what it's all about. But before we get started, we need to find out how you guys can follow us, stalk us in a good way, and show up to everything that we are part of. Chris, tell everybody how they can find us.
Yes, you can stalk us in a good way. There it is right there. You can like us on our IG and Twitter and LinkedIn at AWIC for Christ. You can like our Facebook page at Anointed Women in Christ, parentheses AWIC. You can also, this is important, subscribe to our YouTube channel at AWIC TV Experience It. And don't forget to hit that bell, because when you hit the bell, every time we go live, you'll get notified so you won't miss an episode. And you can also view us on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire on our own network. Can you believe it?
And what is that? What is that?
It is VBN. Value, Voice, Victory, Belief Network.
Yeah.
Hallelujah. Can you believe? Isn't God good?
Yes.
So don't forget
more than that.
On all of our social media platforms. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's very, very important, because sometimes we go live with special segments and special shows. So you don't want to miss that. And we don't want you to miss it, because we are nothing without the audience. So we need your viewership. We thank you for your viewership. Mm-hmm. So we're going to continue on with our show. I'm going to put this on scroll in case you missed it when we said it on the top end.
Absolutely. So don't forget, find us.
Yes.
Like, share, and tell everybody about us. Tell your neighbors, mamas, friends, everybody. We want everybody to know what we're talking about. And we're, as always, we're here to be a resource for you. So today we have somebody who's going to tell us about the power of the Muscadine. And I think I said it right, the Muscadine grape. But if I didn't, he'll correct me. So we have none other than Michael Bazemore, who's going to come on and tell us about that and about his company, Cuba. Hey, Michael Bazemore, welcome.
Ladies, good afternoon. How are you?
Good. Doing well. How are you? I know that you're doing well because you're smiling and cheesing and you're bright and happy. So you must be doing well, right?
How could you not be well in the midst of four beautiful women? I am doing absolutely wonderful.
Oh,
you just say that.
So I'm curious, and I want to know, what is the Muscadine grape? Where does it grow? And tell us about it.
Well, that's a great question. I'm glad we're going to get an opportunity to educate so many people about the Muscadine grape. First, the Muscadine grape is, believe it or not, it's a grape that's been around for over 400 years. And, it's grown right here in the United States, specifically that southeastern region, the North and the South Carolina areas is where it's primarily grown. And, this Muscadine grape is a grape, but what it really is, it really is the most powerful superfruit that's on the planet. And it's backed by a lot of numbers and documentation that really support it. But simply put, that this muscadine grape grown right here in the United States is the most powerful natural antioxidant on the planet, and I love it. I don't want to go too far ahead because I know you got some pointed questions for me, but I'll as we move along, I'll talk about ORAC scores, different things that determine an antioxidant's power and compare the muscadine to other antioxidants and some of the clinical research that's already been done. And during these times that we're living in, what I love about this message of the muscadine is that, for the first time in all of our histories, uh, every family around the world have really a couple of concerns, and we're going to talk about both of those today. The first is their health, that their immune system, are they doing everything in their power to make sure it's boosted? But then that second thing is when we look at, as a result of the pandemic, 100 plus thousand businesses shut down, which translates into millions of jobs lost, that folks are looking to replace lost wages. So, we're able to solve all of that through the power of this muscadine. And I consider it a blessing just to be here to share this, with your viewers.
Amen.
Oh, wow.
Amen. Amen. How did you get started? How did you get involved with it?
I got started. So the company Juva, I got started in the health and wellness sector maybe 7 to 10 years ago. And that was in another company I was affiliated with. And, when this company came to be and I started doing a little research and understood that the power of high impact nutrition, and we'll probably dive in that a little bit more, what that really means. But, this high impact nutrition and saw some of the testimonies, because I'm sure you're a lot like myself. You can give facts all day long, but there's nothing more powerful than when you hear stories and testimonies from individuals. And when I was asked to help to take this, muscadine and to take this health initiative to the world, I couldn't resist. I've been in business for over 20 years, but this is for me, it's become a different type of business. It really has almost turned into a ministry when I get to see some of the benefits and some of the lives that have been impacted by this. So that's what led me here, and seeing the testimonies is really what cemented me and increased my excitement and my enthusiasm and my passion to get this out to as many families as possible, to at least hear the information so they can make informed decisions as to what works best for them.
Mm. Mm.
Wonderful.
Now, I've heard you say Juva a couple of times, or when Latricia introduced you. What is Juva? Is that an acronym for something, or
It's just
what
the
is it?
name of the company. Juva is a direct sales company. The headquarters is based out of Utah. We've got another headquarters on the East Coast in New Hampshire, but it's a direct sales company that is solely focused in the health and wellness industry, and have a lot of proprietary, high impact, all natural products. Nothing medicinal, anything like that, but all natural products that really are impacting lives. And what's on the forefront of that is this muscadine. This muscadine grape, and then we'll talk about this Infinity Muscadine grapeseed oil. But that's really what our flagship product is, because of so many health benefits to the muscadine, as being one of the, like I mentioned earlier, one of the most powerful natural antioxidants literally on the planet.
Mm. Is it?
So,
Go ahead.
oh, I'm sorry. So, I just have a question, because somebody had to introduce you to the product. So, in them talking about it, what was the reason why you even started using it yourself? in order to even get into the business part of it? So what was the attraction? And once you started using it, what did you use it for? And what were the benefits of
No,
it?
that's a great question. The main thing that attracted me were results. And for me, growing up, I played a lot of sports, and as recent as I think it was maybe 1999, I ran a marathon, and I can remember training during that marathon and starting to feel some type of pain in my hip area,
Mm.
and I can remember going to an orthopedic surgeon that didn't take an x-ray, moved my leg around and said, "Oh, I need to replace your hip." And I said, "Whoa,
Oh,
at least take a picture. Let's
Yeah.
confirm that that's the solution that we need." And
yeah.
that's what prompted me into wanting to learn more about natural health, more holistic approaches, because I did know that, the way God designed our bodies, that if you give it what it needs, it does what he designed it to do, and that's heal itself. But if we continue to inundate it with toxins, then those toxins offset our body's ability to naturally heal. So that was the catalyst, and I'd already heard different testimonies. So like anything, I wanted to try it for myself, and just taking our high impact nutrition, our high impact ginger, our high impact turmeric, our high impact muscadine, and starting to see some of the pain go away. Because when we talk of, and a lot of people hear ginger and turmeric and think it's all equal. But when you really understand that there are roots, there's superfoods, but anything is only as powerful as the soil that it grows in. And there's a Senate document that goes back, Senate document 264, I believe it says, back in the 70s, the soil was 83% depleted of minerals right here in the United States. So that means that even families that were looking to have a perfect plate of food, doing their best to eat healthy, it was still 83% deficient in the minerals, because if there's nothing there for the root to absorb, then your body's not getting the benefit of it. And because, our products were grown in minerally dense virgin volcanic ash, which has a ton of minerals, they absorb that. So the testimonies that I've seen, as well as myself, from taking those high impact products, the results have been absolutely mind blowing. And then when we throw this muscadine grape, because we just learned about the muscadine and the benefits probably not even just a little over a year ago, and ever since we started making that our flagship product, the testimonies have gone through the roof. And I've got some different breakdowns of the many different benefits that this superfood has. I can go into it now, or I can come back if anybody has a follow-up question to just, my particular reason and my inspiration for wanting to do this.
I do. I do. You said something about your visit to the doctors, and I can attest to that. I was diagnosed back in 2019 with a thyroid issue, and the doctor wanted me to take this uh, radioactive pill to kill the thyroid, and that I just said absolutely not. And I remember Holy Spirit telling me to go holistic. So I definitely believe in holistic healing. I'm definitely open to hearing more about the muscadine, and I'm familiar with the muscadine. When I was growing up, my family is from South Carolina, and we used to go down there every year for about 2 weeks. And as soon as we got there, we were asking our aunts and uncles to take us to this place called the Jocolot to get some muscadines. So we ate them, straight from the vine, from the grape, in the grape form. So I am familiar with them, and they taste absolutely delicious. And we could only get them in South Carolina. I'd never seen them in this part of the country. So I am familiar with the muscadine. I was not familiar with its health benefits, and what it does. So yes, I'm definitely familiar with that.
Yes, yes. I was going to say the same thing. I grew up in North Carolina, specifically Rayford, Fayetteville area, and we would go out and back of my aunt's home and pluck the grapes, take them to the, okay, don't laugh, Michael. Take them to the pump and wash them off and eat them like that. So, yes, I am very familiar with the grape. Had no idea at the time that they were, serving my body well. Uh, I just knew that they tasted good.
So let me break that down. I'll laugh offline. I'm not gonna laugh right now, but I'll laugh because one of the beautiful things about this grape, and this just really speaks to God putting everything that we need right here on the earth for our
Yes,
benefit. And this grape is different than any other grape. It has an ability to fight off mold. All of the insects that usually attack other grapes. It has this protective mechanism, and those of you that are familiar with it, if you remember, the skins were a little thick. They're a
yeah,
little tough. The middle was juicy, but the skin. So sometimes you may bite it, eat the center, and then get rid of the skins. Well,
Yeah.
what you were doing is getting rid of most of the nutrition, and that's what these capsules that are made up the skin, because the most of the nutrition in the muscadine is in the skins and the seeds. So when I talk about the muscadine being that natural antioxidant, but what it does is it has within it 100 different individual antioxidants that support a wide range of health benefits, from brain function to inflammatory response, sexual response for the happily married couples out there, gut probiotics, youthful appearance, people are aging in reverse, restful sleep, skin elasticity, as far as stretch marks and things of that nature, the skin becomes more elastic, joint flexibility, weight loss, blood flow, and immune response. And when, a lot of us are
And
familiar with like,
where can I buy
with,
this?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I said, where can I buy this?
I got you, Pastor. I got you. But just to round out the muscadine, a lot of people say, well, there are a lot of antioxidants. There's the noni fruit. There's the blueberry. We all grew up with the blueberry. There's the acai mangosteen. But all antioxidants are judged on their what they call the ORAC score. And the ORAC score determines the antioxidant's ability to fight the free radicals that roam our body. And we all know that inflammation alone represents 90% of the things that attack our body, and the aches and the pains that we deal with. So when I look at the muscadine grape compared to the noni fruit has an ORAC score of 1,700. The blueberry has an ORAC score of 7,700. The acai berry, a lot of people know about acai, that has an ORAC score of 16,700. The mangosteen has an ORAC score of 20,000, and the goji berry an ORAC score of 25,300. But the muscadine grape has an ORAC score of 89,500. That's why it's the most powerful natural antioxidant on the planet. And then this oil that we talked about, when you take the other part, when you take the seeds of the muscadine grape and you cold press the seeds, it produces this oil. And that's this infinity muscadine grapeseed oil. And this oil, it literally the University of Florida said it's a miracle product, because when you apply it on your skin, it's getting rid of unwanted wrinkles, blemishes, stretch marks, things of that nature. Women are growing back eyelashes and eyebrows. Severe skin conditions that people deal with are they're getting rid of it with this muscadine grapeseed oil. But when you ingest it, it also blocks the conversion of fat. So when they say a miracle product, it is truly unbelievable. And that's why I'm grateful that we're here to talk about the muscadine, because so many people are concerned about that. And I know, we're talking about the muscadine and our products, but during this pandemic, a lot of folks, they call it the quarantine 15. A lot of folks and families had gained some extra weight. And that's what I love about our products, because not just with the high impact nutrition where we take care of the core part of your body, but I know, when we were talking before, I showed you all some pictures, and, one of which included myself. And, that high impact nutrition with, we've got a program called our Juba Fit program, which is keto made easy. A lot of people hear about the keto. That's the fat guy in the top left, you know, and I'm 55 years old. So, to lose 68 pounds, over 50, when most people think your metabolism slows down, it's harder to lose weight, to be able to not just lose it effortlessly, but to sustain it. Because when you're living a lifestyle is very different from a diet. A lifestyle is a very sustainable lifestyle. And, I could name so many different testimonies, where there have been individuals that have been dealing with blood pressure issues, blood sugar issues, autoimmune issues, that we know as lupus or multiple sclerosis. All of those are autoimmune issues. I've seen nothing short of miracles, just by simply giving bodies what it needs, that high impact nutrition. And I always emphasize the word high impact because, and I was guilty of this before I learned, but we think everything is equal, as I mentioned earlier. And there really is a difference between the quality of the products, and the difference always yields itself through looking at the results. And I've seen nothing short of absolutely miraculous results, and people that thought they were going to have to deal with the condition for the rest of their lives. But because, we were able to give the body what it needs, the condition was able to reverse itself. And then the doctors subsequently took them off of the medications, because we still encourage folks, deal with your physicians, because we make no medical claims, we make no assurances. We've just seen too much evidence that, when you give the body what it needs, our bodies in and of itself is an incredible machine.
Amen. 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 Yes, yes, yes. You mentioned a lot about testimonies. Do you have a couple that you can share with us that's real specific, like a before and an after, that you really like sharing?
Any before and after? Yeah, I got a lot. I've got one testimony of a young lady who was suffering from MS, and she had been hospitalized every year for about 10 years, sometimes to the point of where she had to go through rehab to learn how to eat and use her motor functions, because it just really attacked her body. And she had been on a lot of different medications. So even when this was introduced to her, she was very resistant, because after a while, when you're been dealing with something for so long, you get tired. Your body gets tired, and you just get tired. And I don't want to take any more pills. I don't want to, but thank God her cousin forced her to give it a try. Even if I got to buy it for you, give it a try. And it brought tears to my eyes when at one event we were at, her son came into the front of the room and said, "These products saved my mommy's life." Because for the first time, not just on our JuvaFit program, she lost over 50 pounds, but she had no more symptoms going on 3 or 4 years of the MS, to where, no pain. Because I guess I've never experienced it, but I hear the pain is excruciating. The pain that your body and attacking itself that you're going through. So that's one testimony. I've got another one of a young lady who dealt with lupus, and she dealt with lupus to the point where the pain was so intense that she had contemplated and started putting in the paperwork for retiring early on disability, because even getting out of bed, she was lethargic. Her family thought that she was over, kind of faking it, because I guess it just drains so much of your energy. And she started taking our high impact products. And again, there's always a weight loss associated with it, because when you understand getting rid of a lot of sugars, because sugars attack our body, and that is what creates inflammation. And when you really understand that a lot of these autoimmune, really just about every condition that we deal with, it has a name, but the root cause is inflammation. So when you start to get rid of the things that cause inflammation in the body, i.e. sugar, i.e. carbohydrates, processed carbohydrates, you start to reduce that, then you get the results. And she was on 10 different medications, and she started taking our high impact products, including the Muscadine grape. And not only is she off of all of those medications, she's become, shouting from the rooftops of just the quality of life that she got back. She's able to enjoy her grandkids, going to their sporting events. And she always says, you don't know how bad you felt until you feel good. So those are just a few of the thousands of testimonies, that we had, blood pressure, diabetes. Again, we didn't make no claims, but even weight loss. I've got so many weight loss testimonies. We'll hear people say, I only lost 20 pounds. And we had to stop and check ourselves, be like, people struggle years to lose 20 pounds,
Right.
and it's just, but when you make that body a fat burning machine, then now the body's burning fat instead of muscle, because even losing weight, people cut back calories, cut back portions, and things of that nature, all in the effort to lose weight. But what you're losing is muscle mass. Because when you understand what the body needs fat to burn fat. So what is fat? Butter, bacon, avocados. Those are all fats that we were taught were bad for us, but those are fats. And this whole ketogenic lifestyle, it's a science that's been around for over 100 years. So it's a proven science. We've just made it easier for people to have the success. And even folks during this quarantine have lost 30 and 40 pounds, as a result of our high impact products in our weight loss program. So I could go on and on. So I'm gonna shut up and let you ask for more questions, because when I start talking, I get excited, because that's what goes back to the beginning. That's what gets me fueled up, is when you can make an impact in people's lives and give them that quality of life back. It really does become a ministry.
Yeah, yeah. I was going to say, I think that your love and passion for your product comes through as you speak. But what I'd like for you to do is to talk to the doubters, the people who have the condition lupus and high blood pressure and blood sugar issues. Even when you were talking about the wrinkles on the skin, first of all, can you give us some idea as to over what period of time these things occur? Because, I'm one of these people, if I put it on 5 minutes later, I want it to be working. You know what I mean? But there are others like me out there. And when we think about it, there have been so many miracle substances. I don't want to call them drugs, but those things that profess to do some of the same things that you're talking about with the muscadine. And I want to know what sets the muscadine aside from or above some of these other products, including, what is it, CBD oil, whatever,
Mhm. Mhm.
whatever that might be. Can you talk about those?
Now you asked 5 questions within that one
That's all
question.
right. You
I'm
you can you can handle it.
Just answer one and then we'll take a break.
so real quick, to the doubters, this is what I would say. Here in the United States, we spend more on health care than all other nations combined. But we're still 60th in life expectancy. We're still 41st in infant mortality. One out of every three Americans are either diabetic or pre-diabetic, and we're still the most obese nation in the world. All of this was pre-pandemic. So those numbers have only been skewed in the wrong direction since this pandemic. So to the doubters, I would say, what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose by giving your body something natural? Muscadine is a grape. It is a great where we have a proprietary process where, whether it's the oil, where we press the seeds, because you're not going to chew enough seeds. This one bottle is 1.5 pounds of seeds. You're not going to chew 1.5 pounds of seeds to get the benefits. And as Lynette was talking about, even just applying that oil on your skin, you asked about the time frame. In our company, we're proud to have people say 7-day reveals. We've seen severe skin conditions change and alter in 7 days or less. So that's a bold declaration, but I've got evidence after evidence that speaks to a lot of these severe conditions, whether it's stretch marks, whether a young lady got, I'll say nothing short of electrocuted, when she was plugging something in and a spark came up and she put the oil in less than a day. You can't even tell where the spot was. So that's the power of the superfruit, and that's why we're on here talking about the power of the muscadine. So I heard my cue, for a commercial. So I'll pause there, and then we can come back and answer as many questions as you like. But that was a great question. Thank you for asking that, Lynette.
Absolutely, absolutely. I do appreciate your passion and your knowledge about the muscadine because I thought about that. There are those that are doubters, but there is more that we're going to talk about with the power of the muscadine. For those of you that are tuning in, we are here with Michael Bazemore, and we're talking about the power of the muscadine grape. We are going to take a quick commercial break, so don't go anywhere. Tell your friends about us and stay tuned. We'll be right back after this commercial break. Welcome back. Welcome back. We are here, AWIC TV, Experience It, with our guest, Michael Bazemore, and he has been talking about the power of the muscadine grape. And, before the commercial break, I heard him mention that we could eat some bacon and some fat stuff. So I want to talk a little bit more about that. But before we do, Michael, continue telling us about some of the benefits of the muscadine grape. And I think we have a couple testimonial pictures to show as well. Some other ones.
Yeah, and I want to go back and wrap up the doubter answer as well, because there are a lot of doubters out here, and I would always say, look at your results. If you're not getting the results that you want, I tell people all the time, whether I'm on a call or in the front of a room, sharing this information, the worst that's going to happen is you're going to get healthy because you're giving your body something natural. Our ginger has one ingredient in ginger. Our turmeric has one ingredient, turmeric. People say, I can go get turmeric here and there. Look at the back of it. There are 10 different ingredients, but there's a little bit of turmeric that makes it orange. And because they see it's orange, they think it's turmeric. And then they're still dealing with a lot of the same pains. Our muscadine is one grape that impacts skin. It impacts hair. People are growing back hair. I've got a young lady that she's a cancer survivor, went through chemotherapy, lost some of her hair as a result of chemo. She's probably got this much growth, new growth of hair that's growing back as a result of the muscadine. And it's not an accident that this superfruit has been around for over 400 years. The sad part is less than 2% of the population know about it. And after today, hopefully we can dive into that number and at least say 5% of the population know about it because we're talking about it more. And when you have Wake Forest University Hospital that's already done well over $20 million of clinical research, they've tested this muscadine on things that I can't mention on this Zoom because we would all get in trouble as far if I were to say what this muscadine cures. I'll leave it at that. I won't go into any more depth, but again, it's just amazing. I mentioned, this is one of those unique times when everybody, regardless of what side of the fence you're on, pro, anti-vaccine, everybody's talking about immune system. So when you can have what's deemed by document, that the numbers always tell a story. You guys know my background's accounting, so I love numbers. Numbers are what tell a story. So when I see numbers, that's the end result. So when you see that, now I know that my immune system is not compromised because I have the most powerful natural antioxidant. And again, I wish I could go into a lot of the testimonies, even surrounding that I've seen pre-muscadine, diagnosed muscadine, going home. And I'm trying to talk in code, with saying things without saying things,
Right.
just so hopefully, families and individuals understand the power of giving your body something because we've tried all of that. And I shared those statistics. Those statistics are real. and those numbers are only getting worse right now. So, this is, we're all in a unique season in life where, our health, we've left it to chance for so many years. But now this is a season when our health has to become a choice, and we've got to make that choice. Am I going to take back a little bit of control of my health instead of starting on one med, and then because they couldn't figure it out, so let's try this, but then that causes a side effect to add this one, and now we've added three. Now, just like the young lady with lupus, 10 prescription medications, the young lady with MS, 14 different meds, and all of those are breaking down our body. So this muscadine grape is, and just our high impact nutrition as a whole is changing lives.
Mhm.
Mm.
Um, I have a nephew, and one of our favorite things to do is when we watch commercials, they'd have this medication, and then they would give you this long list of things that's going to happen, that could happen to you if you took this medication, which would make him laugh every time. So, on his behalf, since he is not here, will you please tell us the long list of things that possibly could happen if this medication or this vitamin is not taken properly? And can you overdo it? Also, does it run up into any kind of food or other medications?
So you going to the school of the net by asking three questions in one question, Miss Tammy.
We want to
So
know.
so
Okay.
listen, but that's a great question, because just like
Okay.
your nephew, I watch those commercials and I
Yes.
just sit there and scratch my head. I'm like, they say this, and death may cause
Yeah.
death,
Yes.
but people still blindly don't question anything, will still take it. So to your point, this is not a medication. It's a grape. It's a grape. And as I mentioned earlier, this muscadine, within this one grape, there's 100 different antioxidants within this grape. And some of the benefits that it supports brain function. Because how many of our families are we dealing with more dementia and Alzheimer? It used to be a thing where maybe, Miss Sue had it down the street, and one or two cases, and now it's becoming almost like a secondary conversation. So brain health and brain function is important. Inflammatory response. We talked about inflammation being the root cause of at least 90% of the different things our body deals with. Sexual response.
Arthritis. Mhm.
Anything itis is inflammation. Anything itis, don't get caught up in the name. All it means is inflammation. Anything that says autoimmune, and I'm not a doctor, I'm just somebody that's been around a lot of smart people. I always, as I think, I'm like, all right, Mike, they're going to try to say you said this. I ain't say none of that. I'm just saying, I'm just sharing my experience. But, autoimmune is inflammation.
Mhm.
So once you
Yes.
get rid of inflammation, that's why this JuvaFit, this Keto Made Easy program, along with our high impact products, because now we're addressing health from the inside, because the right ginger is fixing your digestion, because we are what we absorb. So if I'm taking things but I'm not absorbing it, then my body's not getting the benefit of it. So now the ginger is fixing our digestion. The high impact turmeric, not only is it detoxing my liver, but it's helping my body to get rid of inflammation, amongst the thousands of other health benefits of turmeric. And this muscadine, I already mentioned brain function, inflammatory response, sexual response, gut probiotics, youthful appearance. I mentioned turning back time, getting rid of unwanted wrinkles and blemishes, restful sleep. You mentioned CBD. That is to help with sleep. So does this muscadine. Skin elasticity, joint flexibility, oxidative stress. A lot of that is blood flow. Once you can increase the blood flow, you improve the heart health. So now, when we're looking at so many folks that are dealing with different heart conditions, when you increase the blood flow, you increase the body's ability to have oxygen. So now your blood has even more oxygen. I mentioned blood for weight loss and then immune response, and those are just a few. And with this oil, every day we're learning something. I've got teenagers that their parents have put it because they've broken out with acne. And that's the thing that kills teenage self-esteem. 7 days or less, Miss Lynette. I'm going back to you. 7 days, they've seen a response. You
Wow.
know, folks that have been dealing with like severe eczema, 7 days, skin not flaky, not scaly, stretch marks gone. People that have had scratches or scars. This muscadine seed oil is nothing short of amazing. And like I said, every day we're getting new testimonies and discovering new possibilities and new benefits. You know, with this muscadine grape and this muscadine grapeseed oil, because we're using the parts of the grape that have the most nutrition, the skins and the seeds, which is what with people that eat it throw it away because
Right.
the middle is so juicy and sweet and tasty. That's what
Yeah,
we like.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah. That definitely was my experience. I
Yeah.
didn't do
Yes.
nothing with that skin. Go ahead.
Mhm.
And Miss Tammy, you had mentioned about, does it interfere with other medication? No. What I tell people is that if you're already on prescription medications, when you take our products, doesn't matter what order you take it in, take your meds, take the products at least an hour apart, so that the medication doesn't offset the whole nutrition, and that the whole nutrition doesn't do anything to offset the medication, but just monitor whatever your numbers are. And then when your numbers adjust, because 9 out of 10 times they do, because you're giving your body something that's helping bring it back in balance, then go to your doctor and let your doctor tell you to stop doing this or to come off of that. So it doesn't
Mhm.
interfere with any medications. It doesn't interfere with any foods. One, because the ginger and turmeric are roots. We season with it. I can't. I like we talked about the things that they say at the end of those commercials. When people say, "Well, you know, my doctor said I can't take ginger or turmeric," I say, "Do you eat curry chicken? Do you eat ginger chicken? Because that's ginger and turmeric." So it doesn't even make sense. But I've learned over the years that when we don't understand something, it's easy to to shoot it down.
Right.
And that's just because of lack of knowledge. And that's why I applaud you women, because you bring different people on this platform to educate. And the best place to make a decision is from a more informed place. And I'm prayerful, and that's my intention, is for when we're done here, people have a greater understanding and appreciation and a passion to make health a choice instead of living by chance.
Yes. I
Absolutely.
like that.
Well,
Absolutely.
one of the things that I wanted to ask, because you talk about the weight loss aspect of it. So with that, do in taking the product, do I have to change my diet? Is that a part of it? Or does it still happen irregardless of what I eat?
M- In a small percentage, people just taking the products will lose weight, but part of the ketogenic lifestyle is realizing that your diet does change, because it becomes 75% fat, 20% protein, and 5% carbs. So that's the ratio of food. And with our core products, you know, we add this meal replacement shake, which is formulated 75% fat, 20% protein, 5% carb, and that replaces one meal. But it gives your body nutrition so you're not starving yourself. And then when you eat, you're just eating in that proportion. So I still eat pork chops or steak, but now I'm cooking it in butter. I'm cooking my vegetables in butter. You know, I'm eating a salad. I'm loading it up with the olives, which are fat, the cheese. You know, but I'm using regular salad dressing instead of non-fat, because it's chemicals and non-fat, and fat is your friend. And
That's
that's the
right.
hardest transition to make, is that fat is your friend. So when I'm cooking breakfast, I'm scrambling eggs in heavy butter. I'm putting cheese in there. Some people cut up avocados and eat that with it. And then I'm eating bacon because I like bacon. Some people, bacon is good fat. So now I'm eating bacon, but it's just is so that's the change that you would make in your diet, is incorporating more fat, because that's the fuel that's helping your body to burn fat. See, we're burning stored fat, not losing weight. There's a big difference between losing weight and burning fat.
And that's odd,
Oh,
because they tell us that we shouldn't eat all the stuff that you just named, that you said that's good for the body. So that I've never heard that out of all the, you know, diet or whatever you call it. I've never heard it in the reverse. So that's good. Although I don't eat pork, not because of that. It's because of health.
Right.
It does something to me, so I can't eat it. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, I did a little bit of the keto diet before, and I noticed that it did increase my weight, make my weight loss. It's a hard diet because you have to eat a lot more fats, and there was a way that you add fat to your coffee, and you would drink that and first thing in the morning, and I'm telling you, the pounds would drop off. I just got kind of tired of the taste, but there are things that you can do. So, there are good fats and bad fats, and I think that's something that is important for people to know. All fat is not bad. Fat is good for you. People
Yeah.
survive off the fat of the land, so their fat is good for you. And I wanted to ask two things. One, I know you talked about high impact products. Did you mention what exactly the high impact products were earlier? I don't know if you did, but the the grapes. Okay, I know muscadine grape is important, but what makes it so different from all the other grapes that are out there? Why is it so different from all the other grapes?
I don't know. I don't know, to be honest with you. That's why so much research has been done recently, because it really is this superfruit that, even though it's been around for 400 years, not a lot of people really understand the multitude of health benefits, and we're starting to learn more and more. And it's something about the way this grape is grown. It's something about this skin. It's something, this skin, like I said, it's this protective organism that, because it's protecting itself. When we put it in our bodies, it's doing the same thing for us. I read something that NASA puts muscadine in a lot of the foods that they send into space with the astronauts. I
Wow.
read that the state of North Carolina fairly recently signed legislation that K through 12 are going to drink muscadine juice. So more and more people
Oh,
are starting to realize the benefits of this muscadine, and that's why I said this is almost a perfect storm, because we're bringing this message to the world right at a time when people are looking for hope. People are looking for options and solutions as far as their health. So, we've checked that first box. And when you mention high impact, what makes it high impact is how it's grown.
Okay.
Like I mentioned, our ginger and turmeric. A root is only as powerful as the soil that it grows in. So it's the soil that determines whether it's, you're still getting some benefit, but, that's like saying, for the same price, if I can drive a Rolls Royce or a Hyundai, which car am I going to drive? Well, if it's the same price, give me the Rolls Royce. And that's the difference between a high impact nutrition versus a lot of the other regular things about there that are out there, rather.
mhm, mhm.
Well, I have the question. How can we get these products? Where do we go? Who do we ask? These are the things we want to know now.
No, that's a great question. I appreciate you asking that. And what I've done is I put together a survey that's like a questionnaire. So it's only about 8 questions, and if you click on what's that called again?
To
QR.
QR.
A QR code.
It's at
That
the top of the
QR is
screen.
at the top of the screen. You click on that. That'll allow you to pull up the 8 question survey. Just answer those questions, and then it will let me know, based on your answers, what the best products are, what the best course of action is, to help you make that choice of taking control back of your health. So yeah, but this survey is how we're collecting information. I know we have my contact information that'll be put up, as far as, my phone number, how you can reach me on different social media platforms. There it is right there. That's my phone number. You can call, you can email me. You can find me on Instagram at Michael Bazemore, on Facebook, just Michael Bazemore. And then my website is Mindset Matters with an S dot myjuva.com. So all great ways to reach me, but the best way so I can best serve you is if you click on that QR code and answer those questions. Then we can tailor make something specifically for what you're dealing with, or things that are concerning you.
Okay.
Great.
About how many products do you have with the Juba company? How many products are there?
About 30 to 35 different SKUs, but our main ones are the ginger, the turmeric, the muscadine, the infinity oil. We've got what we call our live, which is a all natural plant derived probiotic, because a lot of people are realizing the need to have a probiotic in your body. And then our Zing, which is an energy drink, but it's full of vitamins and minerals that we don't get in our foods. So everything is all natural, everything is plant derived, no additives, no anything, but it's giving your body 100% of that high impact nutrition. And that's why I love, what we're doing in the time that we're doing it in, as far as the health part. And then I know we're going to get to it, but just talking about how we're helping families also to deal with that deficiency in another vitamin that we joke about, vitamin M, and that's money.
Right, right. I have a question about you mentioned through Juva is where this product can be purchased from, but who's your competition? Because I haven't really heard any other companies that promote the muscadine grape. Do you have some out there? Do you know of some that are out there, or are you kind of top in the industry?
And as far as muscadine, we're it. We have an exclusive agreement with our Muscadine factory down in North Carolina, 120,000 square foot facility. They've invested $38 million in this proprietary process. It's so proprietary, when you go in, you can't even use your phone to record or take pictures, because the process of making, and I've seen the process, so I've watched how every step of the process, but the process that they use to to get the seeds, the process they use to preserve the seeds and the nutrition, the different temperatures that things are done at to preserve the nutrient and the health ability, if you will. It's all, everybody doesn't do everything the same way, and that's why Wake Forest University has extensively been doing so much research and blown away by what they've been able to find as far as the many other health benefits, like I mentioned earlier, that I can't say on here. But if you go to Wake Forest University and Google muscadine, you'll be able to see the many different reports, that $20+ million of research that talk about the health benefits of the muscadine grape. Not to mention, it's in 26 different published articles that are talking about the power of the muscadine.
Wonderful.
It's exciting. I mean, I think it speaks to a lot of the things that we talk about in terms of health challenges and different things that we've gone through, our group. So it does speak volumes to what's out there and what's available. So, and I appreciate your passion. I am curious, because you mentioned God before. What is your faith like when it comes to talking about the muscadine? Because there's got to be a balance of faith in something. You mentioned God earlier, and the muscadine grape. So, tell us about your faith background.
I've grown up in the United Methodist Church. I grew up a small church down in Upper Marlboro, Maryland. United Methodist, sung in the youth choir. Was an acolyte. I became a lay minister at that church. So I preached a few sermons. At that church. When I went to college, I sung in our gospel choir. And I'm gonna give a plug because I love my Bowie State College award-winning gospel choir. But that in and of itself was a life-changing experience. So just because I've lived a life of faith, and now that I'm seeing the benefits, and through a process where, I'm not gonna lie, it was a process that challenged me a little bit, because I was locked in on traditional medicine.
Right.
And traditional medicine has a place, but it took me a while to realize, and that's growing up in the church, and still realizing that it's all throughout the Bible that everything we need is in the earth,
Come on.
but we were still led to medicine, So once I shook that and started to see the results, I don't go to, If I break a bone, I'll probably go. But I mean, I've got a business partner that even tore his Achilles. He tore his Achilles. His doctors, oh, you got to have surgery. You got to have surgery. And he said, this, if I'm trusting my products this time. He took our products and he had ruptured his Achilles, the other one playing sports back in high school and college. So he knew the pain in the process. He had less pain. His Achilles healed quicker by not having the surgery, not getting hooked on the opioids that they give you for the pain, and just taking natural products. And his Achilles reconnected, it healed, and it healed in a much quicker time frame. So, once I made that transition, the faith could only go up. And it really is unparalleled. It's unconditional. I mean, I can't even think of the right adjective to describe the level of faith I have, because when I tell you the things and the testimonies and the lives that not have just been transformed, but lives that have been saved as a result of some of these products, you couldn't tell me anything different. And you mentioned competition. For me, it's no competition out there, because there are a lot of one-trick ponies, that may have a product for this or a product for that, and that's
Right.
great. But when I talk about, we cover the whole spectrum, because we're giving the body whole nutrition. So we're not just fixing this one thing. We're not just, well, get rid of this scar right here with this that has a few. Everything we're giving you impacts multiple, basically our whole body, and it's all natural.
Mhm.
Wow. Wow. Well, you talked about the health benefits, but there's also a business aspect to your product. So tell us about that, for those who, because you talked about on the top end of the show about people who have lost jobs and income and all of that. So tell us about the business part of the Muscadine.
No, I appreciate you asking that, and I love to talk about that, and as passionate about that as I am the Muscadine, because again, we're in such a unique time, where this pandemic has had every family around the world, and we're in 17 countries around the world, but every family around the world concerned about their health, but lost income, because this pandemic has affected small businesses, large businesses, to where millions of people have lost jobs. So when I look at statistics, like 63% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. When I look at statistics that 40% of Americans don't have an extra $400 in the case of an emergency, I like to refer to it as the flat tire challenge, where if you came out of your house and God forbid you had two flat tires, do you have the money to get two new tires? And then for me at 55, a lot of people my age are contemplating this, but when you see 64% of Americans, especially now, can't even consider retirement, the need to have multiple streams of income or have an additional stream of income, it used to be a luxury. It's a necessity now. And I get as much joy out of seeing the testimonies as I do out of helping that single mom figure out a way to pay for daycare, or helping that family member that's looking. If I can help you, just let's start with your car note. If we can put a plan together to help you pay your car note, to make some extra income on top of working from home, and then what is your work? Well, what am I doing? Saving people's lives, impacting people's lives, helping people to live a healthier lifestyle, and then as a result, get paid. I get so much joy out of helping people. I just had we had a pastor down in South Carolina that went to work on Monday and said, you know what, I'm done. So he was able to fire his boss, as a result of the opportunity. But so many people turn a blind eye and look at, whether they're looking at the industry or looking at other opportunities. If it's non-traditional, then, because just like we were conditioned about traditional medicine, we're conditioned about traditional business. And if this pandemic has shown us anything, it's shown us that nothing going forward, anything traditional is not going to be a viable solution.
Right.
So when I say health is a choice, it really is both your health and your success of your family is not no longer can be left to chance. It really is about making a choice, and that choice is taking control of both, and more people have realized that when they've lost shifts, they've lost wages, And so and if you have questions, again, here's my contact information. I encourage you to scan this QR code, give us some information so I can best serve you, whether it's your health and your wealth or either or. It doesn't matter. This Muscadine message we're taking to the world. And the thing I love about it is, when we've got 5 people on here. So now these are 5 separate networks that we get to be a blessing to. And the folks that are listening, if should you choose, to help us share this message, there are people that by the grace of God we're going to reach because you made a decision to make a choice. So now we can reach even more people. We can help even more people and give people hope. People are having mental health issues right now because they don't have solutions. They don't know what to do.
Mm.
Absolutely. Well, you sum that up pretty much because I was going to ask you, do you have any parting words or some messages you want to share with our audience about this as we close up, as we wrap it up? Is there anything in particular that you want to share?
I mean, the only thing that I was sharing, it's really a redundant comment, but it's redundant when they say repetition is the mother of skill. And when you hear something repeated multiple times, and that's something that you should take note of. And again, when we look at that, although we spend more on healthcare in nations, all of those numbers, 60th in life expectancy, 41st in infant mortality, 1 out of every 3 is diabetic or pre-diabetic, most obese nation in the world. Why would you continue to go down that path? That's living the definition of insanity. And we know the definition of insanity is doing the same thing but expecting a different result. This broadcast, these amazing women are giving you a chance to do something different, are giving you a chance to look at your health and look at your success. And instead of leaving it to chance, you have a chance today to make a choice to take control back. Because when you make that choice, you're not just doing it for you, you're doing it for your kids, you're doing it for your grandkids, and you're doing it to set an example for multiple generations. So with that, I'll throw it back to you, and I'm grateful to you wonderful ladies for having me on this platform. And hopefully, if we just reach 1 or 2 people, it was well worth the time, because this is that season where it really is about giving hope and helping people that are lost and just looking for a way.
Absolutely. And I appreciate you sharing that because this is a time where a lot of people are looking for hope and something to believe in. So the power of the Muscadine gives you something to rely on in addition to the word of God and trusting in him. So we want to encourage our viewers, reach out, support Michael Bazemore's product. I say his product, but it's with the company Juva in a secret lab down in North Carolina that we really don't know about. But it's a good product. I'm joking, but it is a good product from what he's shared with us, and we are glad that we learned a lot more about the Muscadine grape because I had seen it and I think I've tasted it before, but I never even thought about health benefits from it. And usually I'm always warned about the sugar content in grapes, so watch out for that. But this is a benefit to the body, and you've been a blessing to us being here. And so we thank you for being here and being a part of this.
Thank you.
We've shared your message, and for those of you that have been watching us and supporting, as always, we want to be a resource. And if this is something that you're interested in and allowing your body to be healthy and beneficial, please follow Michael Bazemore on Facebook, contact him, reach out to him, and check out his website and learn more about the power of the Muscadine grape. And so about to close out, and we are going to be sad to see you go, but we know that we'll hear more about the things that you're doing.
Yeah.
And let's close out like we normally do, Lynette.
Yes. Okay. I'm getting something on my screen here. Again, to our viewers, it is important to us that you know that we care for you, not just as it relates to your spiritual growth, but also to your uh, physical, mental, social. We are concerned about you as an all around person. So we pray that you are gaining more information from our shows. And we encourage you and pray that everything that we present will help you to go out and do the damn thing. That is, discover your value access your voice and move in victory.
All right. Until next time, we say goodbye. Don't forget.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. See y'all.
Thanks.
Looking to expand your business? Get your book on the bestsellers list. Get more exposure for your event. Then advertise on AWIC TV Experience. Broaden your reach. Millions reached on BBN, Roku, Amazon Fire, YouTube, Apple TV, Facebook Live, and more. Get more information at anointedwomeninchrist.com. It could be the best business decision you ever make. Thank you for tuning in to AWIC TV Experience It with Anointed Women in Christ. And join us next week, Sundays at 7 p.m. and Wednesdays at noon. View us on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV on the VBN network. And follow us on all of our social media platforms. Subscribe to our YouTube page at AWIC TV Experience It. And visit our website at anointedwomeninchrist.com. And we encourage you to do the damn thing. Discover your value. Access your voice. And move in victory on AWIC TV